Why is it that with sparkling water, I'm always playing guessing games with what flavor I'm drinking? Is it citrus? Is it aluminum can flavored? Not sure. Sparkling ice, though, they really mean flavor. Like in-your-face flavor. Orange mango, black raspberry. Don't even get me started on the strawberry lemonade. Kiwi strawberry slid right into my taste buds DMs last night and let them know who's boss. No subtleties there, and no sugar either. But it does have vitamins and antioxidants. Find sparkling ice at a major grocery store or club retailer near you. Sparkling ice. Anything but subtle.
Today on CityCast Denver. School's starting soon, but summer's not quite over yet. So we want to help you make the most of it. From Japanese-style shaved ice to the best local treats at the Colorado State Fair, we've got the inside scoop on how to do August right. Today is Thursday, August 1st. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. Producer Paul Caroli, good morning.
Hey, Bree, good morning.
Newsletter editor Peyton Garcia, hi.
What up?
So it's August, which is back to school time for a lot of us, but it's the end of summer, even though the warmer temps in Colorado always stick around until at least September. So there's plenty of summerish things to do outside or inside if you're me. But as always, we've broken down our monthly guide into a few categories, and we'll each share what we've got lined up for the month of August. Let's start with something to do experience. Peyton, what have you got?
Okay, so August is Colorado's birth month. It is the month in which the state of Colorado was conceived. The actual date, I think, is
Kansas met Wyoming. They shared a special look.
Exactly.
When we went from territory to state, and Colorado's the kind of girl that's going to celebrate her birthday all month long, is what you're saying.
Yes. So in honor of Colorado's birthday month, I thought I would brush up on my Colorado history and pay a visit to History Colorado, because they are hosting a special screening this month of a historical documentary called The Lost Mountaineers. Have you heard of this, Paul?
Never.
Okay, so it's a documentary called The Lost Mountaineers, and it's a film that focuses on the harrowing story of 25 soldiers from the 10th Mountain Division who lost their lives in a tragic boat accident at Lake Garda in Italy on April 30th, 1945. And so if you don't know what the 10th Mountain Division is, it's a very, very fascinating part of Colorado history, in which they trained an elite group of skiers. So the Army trained, right, Paul? I'm doing this right. Soldiers to go into war on skis, and they had they trained at Camp Hale in Leadville in the midst of World War II.
Yeah, that's it. That's the story.
Which is cool. Which is really cool. And I have been endlessly fascinated by this piece of history since Paul told me about it 3 years ago. And so anyways, they're screening this documentary on some of the 10th Mountain Division soldiers. But they also have an exhibit open right now called Winter Warriors, and it's all about the 10th Mountain Division. So if you go to the screening, you have access to go check out that exhibit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn something new about our state.
I like this shift for you, Pay, because I know you're an old boats kind of gal. You love a maritime museum, and now you're expanding your horizons.
They're tied because I do like wartime documentaries. So
you're such an old man.
I know, it's really weird. It's my old man pocket of my identity, which is old maritime stuff. And honestly, is it that surprising?
No, I didn't understand at first, but I get it now. And this documentary is about a boat accident that these soldiers had?
So they were, I know, so nothing really to do with skiing. Well, I don't know. Maybe it does. We have to go to the documentary and see. But apparently there was some sort of boat accident on Lake Garda in Italy in 1945. So I think that must be the tail end of World War II. And
staying with your boats.
Yeah.
Sticking with your boats.
See, it's all coming together. So anyways,
learn about that boat.
That's where you'll find me August 19th, learning a little bit about Colorado history.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Paul, what's your something to do experience?
Well, I got a great one. It is the Olympics. The Olympics are happening right now in Paris. And one of the most exciting events, at least for us Coloradans, is the women's soccer tournament, because Colorado has quietly become quite a hotbed for women's soccer. There are a trio of locals who are leading a resurgent U.S. women's soccer team. They've had a couple of rough years, but the team looks really good, especially these three Coloradans. Mallory Swanson, who's from Highlands Ranch. I watched her score 2 goals in 70 seconds against Zambia in their first group stages match. And then Sophia Smith, and then midfielder from Golden, Lindsay Horan. And they're all starters. They're all like top players on the team, all Coloradans. And it has been so fun to watch them. And it seems like they're going to make a real run in this tournament. So I think I'll put a link to a list of our favorite local sports bars to watch them play in the show notes. I was at Stoney's in Uptown for the opening ceremonies. And I hadn't been back there for years. And I just got to say, Stoney's is crushing it.
It's
pretty
fun.
Good prices, pretty good food. You can get a $6 margarita at Stoney's. That's my pick for something to do is head over to Stoney's in Uptown and watch the U.S. women, especially the Coloradans.
Man, I love this. I love this story because Stoney's a longtime fixture here in Denver, and his bars are great. I'm also, as a non-drinker, I enjoy his bars. I think one of them I go to has Skee Ball. I love that place.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, well, I also like this pick too, Paul, because we're really making good on our word as a highly active place here in Colorado, and sometimes we produce Olympic athletes. We're so good. So, fun thing to do. I love it in the spirit of the time. Well, I'm going to head to my favorite museum in all of the city, the Museum of Nature and Science, because they have this running exhibit called The Power of Poison. And dare I say it looks a little immersive, which I like. And it's described on the museum's website as through live performances and interactive dioramas, this spellbinding exhibition will take you into familiar and novel tales of illness, enchantment, and death by poison. And I have to say, Maggie, our lovely ad sales person, was like, this exhibit is awesome. You have to go. So
cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited to go check it out. I'm excited to see how my people, witches, are represented in this story, because there's a whole section on examining like botanical and herbal tinctures and those kinds of things, and how herbs and roots and other plant life are used in not only to create medicine but also to create poison. So I think this sounds really cool.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
What's immersive about it?
I mean, I just looked at the pictures and it's like kind of dark, and there's like plant life around, and then they have these like interactive things happening where they said there's like live performances. So I think that the museum's really, what I love about this immersive trend, at least in Denver, is that it's making museums step up their game. So I'm really curious to see what that looks like. But the photos of the exhibit itself look awesome. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, poison's a fun topic for them. I could see that being like, I mean, you could talk about it in any number of ways. Famous poisonings, natural poisonings.
I mean, they have it kind of broken down like that. Poison in myths and legends, detecting poison, poison by accident, poison for good. So,
Poison
see
for
what
good?
all that means. Yes. The field of toxicology was born out of an urgent need to detect poisons and prevent illness or death.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah. So I think it's got a little something for everybody. This episode is brought to you by Fox Restaurant Concepts. Culinary Dropout at 9 & Co. serves classic meals done right. And with a spacious outdoor patio complete with fire pits and a gaming area, this spot is for anyone who enjoys killer food and delicious drinks in a beautiful space. Oh, and did I mention they have live music on the weekends too? Check out Culinary Dropout's happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. and newly announced a special deal all Wednesdays and Thursdays called the Dropout Duo, which includes a charcuterie board and any 2 craft cocktails for only $30. Culinary Dropout opens weekdays at 11 a.m. and Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. for weekend brunch. You can make reservations, inquire about private events and group dining, view the menu, and order online at culinarydropout.com. That's culinarydropout.com.
Hey, it's Paul Caroli, executive producer with CityCast Denver. And I know it's not always easy finding your way here in Denver. When I first moved here, I didn't understand what people were talking about when they said we needed the moisture so bad. It's a very dry climate. I understand that now. And that's why the mission of CityCast Denver speaks to me. We spend all day, every day, finding the most compelling stories, the most interesting people, and the best insider recommendations so you can make the most of this city and also make this city better. Members of CityCast Denver make that possible, and we couldn't keep doing this work without you. Become a member of CityCast Denver today at membership.citycast.fm and get exclusive perks like ad-free listening, event invites, and members-only updates. That's membership.citycast.fm. Thanks.
Okay, our next category is something to eat or drink in August. Paul, what do you got?
All right, so for this category, I'm going to talk about international politics and a very controversial news story. Can't wait to get into this with you two on this monthly guide episode. But seriously, I was, like many Denverites, I was watching the news from Venezuela over the weekend and the election, the very contested election. It seems like Nicolas Maduro is going to hold on to power. We don't have to talk about that too much more. But in the last year, we've got a lot of new Venezuelan neighbors. Newcomers to this country, people who have settled here in Denver. And I was just remembering after reading these stories back to our conversation about spicy food and the alleged issues that all of these newcomers were having with food that was too spicy in shelters. And like, I don't think I had talked about this, so I wanted to say, I went and I tried a local Venezuelan restaurant after that. There's a place called Quiero Arepas on South Pearl Street that it slaps. It's so good. This place is great. It's like it was a food truck like 10 years ago, or in the early like food truck wave, super buzzy, when food trucks were really cool. And then they had this brick and mortar and you don't hear about it a lot for some reason, but they just are like quietly doing great food. So and it's pretty affordable too. Like I got the vegan arepa for $12 and it's just very filling and delicious. It features black beans, avocado, crispy plantains wrapped inside this griddled and puffed white corn flour pouch. And I just had a great time with it. Yeah, an arepa. There's also another place I haven't tried that I think is like maybe a little bit more traditional in the Edgewater Market. It's called Arepa's House. I've had
it. It's good.
Oh yeah, you liked it?
Yeah, and I love the Edgewater Market, but that place is great.
There you go. 2 recs for Venezuelan food.
2 recs that we can double down on. Let me just plug right now as your resident fat kid. Quiero Arepas is so good. Do it.
Yeah. Okay? What do you like there? You probably got a meat arepa.
I do. So I have to look. I think that they have. I have to look at the menu again. But I've tried like their chicken. I've tried their beef. Honestly, though, I think that the go-to is like the they just have like a vegetarian like cheese, black bean. I want to say it had like a sweet potato in it, maybe. Or plantain is what I'm thinking. So it was just like the vegetarian cheese one. And I think that's where you want to go. Honestly, that's my, because I think an arepa with cheese is just like how you want to do it. So coming from like this like devout carnivore, I say go with the vegetarian cheesy one. Add the guac, add the special sauce. And honestly, when you add the meat, they're too big. They're hard. You have to eat them with a fork, which is like not how you want to eat an arepa. You want to be able to eat it almost like a taco. So
with your hand.
I'll link in the newsletter to my favorite one. I'll describe it in great detail, but I have to say that place is so good. And I think they have a location in Boulder as well.
Yeah, they're in the Avanti in Boulder, and they have there's one in the Avanti on the north side too.
So
and then
good.
Obviously the brick and mortar I was talking about, South Pearl.
My favorite arepa in town. Anyways.
Peyton, how about you?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go real kind of broad here. But my tip for something to eat is eat something distinctly Colorado in August because this is the month of Palisade peaches and the month of Olathe sweet corn and the month of the Colorado State Fair in Pueblo. So you've got the Palisade Peach Festival happening in Palisade, so about 4 hours away, August 16th and 17th. You have the Olathe Sweet Corn Festival happening in Olathe, August 24th, 5 hours away. You've got the Colorado State Fair in Pueblo, 2 hours away, which kicks off August 23rd and runs through September 2nd. But you can eat all the green chili you want there, sloppers, all the good staple Colorado Fair food.
Wait. You got to tell people what a slopper is.
It's an open-faced cheeseburger doused in Colorado signature green chili. And it's incredible. And your bathroom should be prepared for the repercussions. Just kidding, but really.
I've never been to the Pueblo State Fair. Is it fun? Like, what do they have
I haven't either. But you must have.
No, it's really funny is I've been to the Illinois State Fair and I have not been to the Colorado State Fair.
Maybe we need to do a CityCast field trip to the State Fair.
I mean, friend of the show, David Casados, resides there. And my best friend. And so does
our Pueblo correspondent.
He could give us, he's a Pueblo insider. He could give us all the hot tips for the State Fair.
Yeah, we should totally do that.
That's an off mic convo. But there you have it. Take your pick.
Fair food in general is one of my favorite cuisines, but the Colorado fair food angle of it, good choice.
Oh, yeah. Elote, just all of it, the corn dogs. But you have so many options as far as like super Colorado food. So if you're looking for a road trip, take your pick. Here's a pro tip hack. If you don't want to drive 4 hours to Palisade for their Peach Festival, Lafayette does a really popular one here as well, happening that same weekend, August 17th. So instead, just do a 20-minute drive to Lafayette, and they have a great one in their downtown.
I didn't know Lafayette did that.
Yep.
That's cool.
Bree, something to eat? Have you given us yours?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna stay here in Denver. I'm going to try the kakigori at Tamaki Den. So the Denver Post reported on this, and a very nice friend on Instagram, I wish I could remember who it was, alerted me to this because they knew I was a shave ice freak. But they have like a shave ice pop-up at Tamaki Den called Kakigori Ken. And Lily O'Neill at the Denver Post describes kakigori as a typically fluffier than shaved ice than you would find in a snow cone. And it's sweetened with condensed milk and fruity syrups.
Oh my
But this is Tamaki Den, so it's fancy. Like... They've got flavors like matcha syrup with red bean paste and creme anglaise with a mochi ball on top, rotating flavors, dark chocolate cherry, and they're going to have a Palisade peach flavored one coming up.
Ooh,
so
fancify your shaved ice.
Yes. The pictures looked bananas good.
Not to mention Tamaki Den is just like
I haven't been there
delicious. Yet. I know, I
so
haven't either, but I've tried there. I haven't actually been there because they have kind of weird hours and I'm not in the city usually when they're I don't know if they have weird hours, but they like do a really dope happy hour.
They do like a lunch and a dinner, and I feel like they're closed
there's like
at a certain time because that's when you and I tried to go once.
But I have tried them at like other pop-ups and food events, and their hand rolls are like to die for. And they're the same brothers. They're the Kazaki brothers, so the same ones behind like Sushi Den and those guys. So this is a must as well.
Yeah, I've never. Yeah, we're actually going to go. Greg and I's 5th wedding anniversary is this August. So
congratulations.
Thank you. So we're going to have a little date. We're actually going to go to the museum for the Power of Poison, and then we're going to go to Tamaki Den and try the shave ice and the sushi.
Well, don't mind if we tag along. Us and all of our listeners.
Yeah, we might be there.
Hi. Here too.
In and around August 3rd, which is our wedding anniversary. So
great.
So excited.
Nice. Yummy. Good picks, guys. This is going to be Fat Kid August.
Good variety.
Fat Kid Month.
Good variety. Well, okay, so our final category, in honor of the Olympics, we're each going to pick something international for the month of August. So this is a really wide category. As usual, interpret it as you wish. You know what? I'm just going to start because I'm really excited. And also it's kind of like, this is going to be a given. Of course, I'm going to pick it. Saigon Azteca Night Market on Morrison Road, August 10th. This is a celebration of Asian and Latinx food, music, art, dance, and more. It's this cool fusion of what makes Westwood so awesome, which is like all of the cool Asian businesses in the Far East Center, and then a lot of the Spanish-speaking businesses along Morrison Road and then all in the neighborhood come together for this cool festival. And it's like one of those places where you're going to see like lion dancers and the Danza Azteca folks at the same place. And it just like, the food's always good. The energy's always good. The vibe, it's just so much fun. And it's all ages, family friendly. It's from 2 to 10 p.m. So you can get one of those nice late summer nights, enjoy it. And I look forward to these events every year. So.
I love a good night market too. There's just something fun about a night market. The vibes are just like real.
Honestly, we need it in Denver. Our nightlife is a little lacking. And I think the night markets that happen across the city are totally something that we should continue to do and support so they keep happening. Because you're right. It's like, it's just something fun and different to do. You don't have to go to a bar. You can go hang out and look at cool art and listen to music and eat really good food. So...
Yeah, I'd co-sign the recommendation to go later in the evening. I went to the Pozole Fest over there maybe a few weeks ago, and it was sweltering.
Yes.
Good point.
I just think you're going to have a better time when the sun starts going down.
Yeah, I would think like after 7 p.m.-ish, it gets a little bit better. And but sometimes the food trucks run out of food. So that's the chance you take.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, what's your something international?
Can I point out real quick before you go, Paul? I want you to go, Paul, but did you intentionally make all of your picks international?
Maybe. I got it in the spirit.
Such a
You know
Paul
I love
thing.
the Olympics.
He does love the Olympics.
Okay,
It's my favorite thing. It's a big international party. And
It's cool.
It's exciting, you know. It's fun to think about other places and anyway, yes, I did. So, my pick for our something international category is a new brunch menu launching soon at one of the most exciting new restaurants to open here in Denver in the last few years, Mac Fam. It opened last year from co-founder and chef Kenneth Wan and his partner and wife Doris Yuen. So it's like a really great Cantonese style diner is what the restaurant is. But I learned in the article in Westward where they were announcing this that these two, they started their whole like food entrepreneurship journey doing brunch. In New York City, they had a pop-up where they were selling this Hong Kong style French toast. So they've been like road testing this dish and this brunch menu at that pop-up. And then when they were at Avanti, and they know it works. They're like, from these quotes, they just seem very confident about this dish. And, you know, I wasn't familiar with it. Fortunately, our friend, past guest, Helen Shu, wrote it up for Westward. And she says, unlike traditional French toast, Hong Kong-style French toast is essentially a sandwich with 2 slices of milk bread and a peanut butter or fruit jam filling that's dipped in beaten egg and then deep fried.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Monte Cristo.
Yeah, it's like a deep fried Monte
I'm into
Cristo.
it. I do love a deep fried sandwich.
They say they're going to do a take on the Denver classic, the Elvis sandwich with peanut butter, bacon, and banana. Although Helen says her favorite on their new brunch menu is the refreshing cold tofu dish that's marinated in a sesame hot pot sauce with cherry tomatoes. So that's what I'm most excited about trying.
Mac Fam's great. Didn't you go to an event there, Pay? You got to try a bunch of
me and
stuff?
Olivia went when it opened, and it was delicious. Their regular menu outside of this new brunch menu is so great. It's fantastic. This brunch menu sounds incredible, though. It's interesting the idea of brunch in other cultures compared to like our traditional idea of brunch, because like that cold tofu dish sounds amazing, but like not something I would think of as brunch.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like a fusion. And also like this particular restaurant, they're right next to Snooze and across from the Hornet. It's a little like brunch alley over on South Broadway now, but all different kinds.
Well, there's no specific time of day for deliciousness. You can enjoy that all day, every day. And this sounds incredible. I have to say, like, I like that we have our food category, but like our miscellaneous category almost always strays towards food events.
We have a lot of good food, and I think their story is very familiar in that a lot of folks leave Denver, go do something in another city for a couple years. New York is a great place to like learn and try things out, and then it's cool when folks come back and bring that back to Denver and bring Denver something that maybe we've never had before. So I love that they did that, and this sounds great. Yeah, I'm with you, Paul. I think South Broadway is a great place to go for brunch, and this is just another option you're going to have. Which is cool.
If the line at Snooze is too long, walk down the street.
Heck yeah.
Peyton, why don't you close us out? What's your something international for the month of August?
Yeah, so my something international is I want to check out this cafe that I've honestly been meaning to check out for a very long time. I've seen it referenced when I like do my event roundups for the newsletter, and I kind of did a deep dive on it last night. So have you guys ever heard of Convivio Cafe?
Oh yeah, I was there over the weekend.
Oh my gosh,
I was going to say,
is it
they had a
amazing,
cool
Paul?
event this weekend or last weekend.
Yeah, it's good.
I think I'm like so excited. I think the story behind it is really cool. So
What's
if you
the
don't
story?
know,
I don't know the story.
Yeah, it's a woman immigrant-owned, Guatemalan-inspired bilingual cafe in the Berkeley neighborhood, and it's centered around the Guatemalan concept of convivio, which they describe as, quote, a get-together where we're all welcome. We gather around crowded tables with our friends and neighbors to share, connect, and enjoy delicious, culturally rooted food and drink. And the story is it was started by two women who met at Revision. So that's that
in
Westwood nonprofit. It's a Latina leadership nonprofit. So they met there, they hit it off. So they started hosting these like informal get-togethers with like all of their friends and families and neighbors, where they would just like share Central American recipes and just kind of like convivio, you know? And they decided they wanted to make a place that was accessible for all of Denver to enjoy the experience. And one of the owners, one of the founders, she has connections in Guatemalan coffee farming. So she has a background kind of doing that. And then the other one is a self-taught cook and has experience in immigrant advocacy work. So they kind of brought those two different expertises together and then officially opened their cafe in November 2022. They seem like a really great business to support. They offer only fair trade, farmer roasted Central American coffees. All of their coffee and tea is from farmers, and all of their food is locally sourced here in Denver. Their menu looks incredible. The drinks look dynamite. It's like a very creative. They like make these like super cross-culture concoctions. So they're like the signature like lattes and fancy coffees that you would see on like any fancy coffee shop menu. But like there's definitely like a South American inspiration to all of them. So like they have like atoles and like chocolatados and stuff like that. And then on top of that, they host a lot of really cool cultural events. So they do a lot of like Spanish learning language clubs, Spanglish, like
They
events.
had live music last weekend because I saw our fellow newsletter editor, Adrian, was there, and it looked really fun.
Yeah, I think they do. I've been wanting to check them out. They have a chai that looks delicious, and like chai is my thing. But like I said, they also have atole and they have chocolatados, and so they just seem like a really great organization to support. And I want to brush up on my Spanish anyway, so I'm gonna go to one of these like Spanglish events and practice my Spanish speaking.
That's awesome.
I think it's interesting to hear that one of the founders has this background in what was it, coffee roasting or cultivating in some way? Because that was the highlight for me, was just the plain black coffee. Yeah. So because they source it all from Guatemalan farmers. And so I guess her experience is, so she's actually from, I think that's the one. Oh, she's actually from Denver. And then she spent like 3 years sleeping on floors at coffee farms all across like Guatemala because she was so interested in it. And so then she brought that back and she has all these connections to these Guatemalan farmers. And their whole goal is like making the supply chain as short as possible so that the profits stay with the farmers.
That's awesome.
Really cool mission. So that's my international pick. Super excited to check them out. And their pastelitos look delicious. So I'll see you there.
Well, there's more where that came from every week in our Hey Denver newsletter. Peyton Garcia rounds up all kinds of events, and we'll have more information there about the things that we talked about. You can find the Hey Denver newsletter at denver.citycast.fm. Peyton, Paul, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely, Brie. Happy August.
See you next time, Brie.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed this show, why not take a minute to tell Mallory Swanson, Sophia Smith, and Lindsay Horan about us? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to our morning newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you later. Montgomery's pooping in the big toilet now, which is great. It's great, except for eventually now I'm going to have to share a whole bathroom with this other person, and it makes me remember again that we need a second bathroom. But, I used to have to go across the street to the 7-Eleven by my old house if someone was in my bathroom and I had to go that bad. But that's not an option right now.